Reno and Stu, real plastic crack addicts. Toy trap, toy trap. Toy trap magic. Trap beat slamming while I crack that package. Fresh paint apps got a grown man bragging. Chef game nasty, each pose cinematic. One review deep, now y'all whole team tapped in. Collecting ain't a hobby no more, it's a habit. Welcome to the toy trap feed, gotta have it. Reno and Stu, real plastic crack addicts.
6 Element Hip Hop.
What's up, everybody? I've been looking forward to this all week, man. What's going on? This is Reno, the plastic crack fiend here. Welcome back to the Toy Trap, where collecting ain't a hobby no more, it's a habit. Tonight is one that we've been really looking forward to for a long time. If you've been following Savage Crucible since the Kickstarter, you watched this line grow from an ambitious idea into one of the most exciting original fantasy toy lines on the market. Between the incredible figures, the expanding mythology, the graphic novels, the passion behind the project, there's definitely a reason why everybody is talking about them right now. And joining us tonight are two of the people helping make all that happen. First, we got the founder of Harvinger Studios and the creator of Savage Crucible, Rob Post, aka Rob. It's an honor having you at the Trap. Welcome. And joining him is the incredibly talented Nikki Nikole. Whether you know her through her phenomenal paint work on Savage Crucible or her love of G.I. Joe, her awesome personality she brings to every interview, we're really happy to have her with us tonight. Thank you guys both for coming and taking your time out to kick it with us. We really appreciate it.
Us. What's up, everybody?
Absolutely.
Thank you for coming. Thank you. Just thank you for your time. Thank you for giving us your time.
And of course, as always, I couldn't do this without my partner in crime, Stu Dog.
Well, yeah. What up, everybody? And I've been looking forward to this all week.
Yeah, man.
Me too, I think I've been looking to it more forward to it than Reno, to be honest with you.
I can't believe that, but we're gonna get into it. But listen, tonight we're gonna also be feasting our eyes on some of the Toy Trap exclusive new images from some of the figures that we saw on display in prototype form at JoeFest. And throughout the night, not just once, we're going to be showing several Toy Trap exclusive images that Rob and Nikki trusted us with. So keep an eye out because we got some cool stuff to show you tonight. And if you're watching live, man, jumping in the chat, we will be keeping an eye on your comments throughout the night. If we get a chance to work some of your questions into the conversation too. So Rob and Nikki, welcome to the Trap. We're really glad that you guys can make it. So before we jump into the interview, want to say thank you because you guys didn't just agree to come on the show. You also trusted us with something really cool. And like a lot of collectors that were at JoeFest checking out the prototypes on display, we were amazed. They were incredible, but at the end of the day, they were still prototypes. So Rob and Nikki was kind enough to send us some exclusive images of the finished figures of a few of those figures. So we're going to be looking at them throughout the show, but I figured instead of making everybody wait, kick things off right now and show you one of these finished joints here. And there we go. A beautiful thing. Guys, can you tell us about this? First thing I'm curious about is what changed between what we saw sitting on the display case at JoeFest and what we're looking at here. Was there any last minute tweaks, refinements, anything that collectors might not notice?
I would say that the shins, those are wraps, and so they're slide-ons. So those the furry part will come off. So this will be the first human figure with bare calves. So
nice.
Yeah, and these are photographed by Renato, and we're calling these the human primals. So in wave one, we had Lemurian or Lizardman slates and savages. The slates were figures that had very minimal paint apps, only on the eyes and the mouth, and came with like 1 or 2 accessories, and those were geared towards customizers. The savages had full paint apps, but not a lot of accessories or armor, and those were geared towards customizers, but also kit bashers and people that just wanted to fill out their display with a less expensive figure than our normal deluxe figures. And so these kind of are the human answer to the Lemurian savages. So we're calling these human primals. We have 3 different SKUs that we're opening with. They come with multiple heads, and I'll let Rob talk a little bit more about them from a display perspective. I'm not sure, Rob, if you had the prototypes on display or if it was like a factory sample at JoeFest.
For that particular figure, it was a factory sample. So these are factory samples, mold injected figures with final paint apps. So the big difference between a slate and a Savage is basically paint. And so with a human figure, we didn't feel like we could do slates because the plastic's so shiny. And what really makes a human or a anthropomorphic human figure look really good is the shading, which is easy enough to do. So, but each figure comes with 2 new heads and a new weapon for each one. So there's a sword unique to the lighter skin and a sword unique to the darker skin. And there's 4 new head sculpts here that we hadn't shown before. So overall, we're pretty excited. These will come out a lot sooner than later. And I know a lot of people asked for this. The irony is that I didn't ask for a blue one. The factory made this on a whim. Yes, they did it on a whim.
Okay.
Me with, and now I feel like I'm stuck having to make it. A
lot of people want it.
Yeah. Everybody on the team was like, "Yes, we got to do this," and I was like, "I don't know about this."
It might be the next big thing. But what's the first thing you guys look for when you're comparing a prototype to the final product sample? Do you is there one detail that tells you nailed it, or do you guys get like a Kanye West sort of thing going on where you just can't decide? You say, we'll just do it all.
So I think it's a multi-step process. You just don't go from the sculpts and then to like mold injection. So you would 3D print a part. The 3D printed part helps you understand how deep the detail is. Mm-hmm. And so if you can't see the detail on a 3D printed part, there's absolutely no way that it will come through on a mold injected part. So the details need to be very crisp and very deep on a 3D printed part for it to actually show up in a molded part. So that's the first part. Once you get to the molding phase, the things that you're looking for are like parting lines, flash, things like that, or places maybe the plastic didn't fill in properly. Mm-hmm. Those are like the small tweaks that they're making at the factory on the molds to ensure that it looks the way it's supposed to. From there, it goes back into just like little things, like because we make little updates to parts as we go along. Like for instance, I'm pretty sure on the Pirannoids and the snake men, the upper part of the knee will have more mass to it on the inside, so that when you bend the knee, there's not just like little place that you can see inside.
Yeah.
So little things like that, like you just kind of tweak over time.
That is cool. See, I love shit like that, man. It's because it reminds collectors that there's a whole journey between the prototype or the factory sample that we get, we see, and what actually, comes into our hands at the final product. And I find it very interesting. How I said, I'm on these. The price is right. Price is always right. This is Savage. So let's just run a little bit because like JoeFest is behind us. Elric is in collectors' hands. Devarthi came through as one of the biggest talking points of the weekend. And it feels like Savage Crucible is kind of like hit another level. So looking back now that you've had a chance to process everything, what surprised you the most about JoeFest or the conventions? And I'm not talking about like sales. I mean like talking about the conventions, the reactions, maybe something collectors connected that you didn't expect or anything like that.
So I'll cover JoeFest, Nikki. You do Zolo because you're at Zolo. I would say that for us at JoeFest, the part that was just kind of crazy was the fan reaction to how we rolled out the Dravarthi. That was we were trying something new where we wanted the people that came to the convention to be the first person to kind of quote discover the figure, get to experience it. So we didn't release any pictures. All we did was just did the box and the box artwork. And then we literally hid them on the table where we wouldn't open up any packages until literally we sold the first one. And so people were literally coming up, grabbing the boxes and then opening them and seeing them for the first time, which was a fun experience, I think, for the people that were in attendance. The part that was shocking was our line was massive. And JoeFest, which is an amazing show, amazing toy show, but it is a very G.I. Joe centric show.
Right.
But it also caters to a lot of indie toy companies because there are a lot of indie toy companies in the military action figure space in both 6-inch and 4-inch. So I think that for me was the most surprising part because that line was just crazy on all 3 days, but the first 2 days it was insane. So that was a fun thing to experience.
I bet.
Yeah, and I think this year has been super interesting, just from a like momentum perspective, because Wave 1, we got that out 2 years ago. Wave 2 was last year. And this year while Wave 3 and 4 are cooking still at the factory, we're just releasing a lot of drop figures in the interim. And they've just really, those single figure drops have just generated a lot of excitement. The Zolicon exclusive, the Toylanta exclusive, the Dravarthi now, and it's just going to continue into Titans. I think the Titans drop and the Toy Unity drop are next level.
Oh, really? Yeah, I can't wait. Can't wait. We'll be there. You'll see. You'll meet me and Stu Dog there for sure.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, at Legion Con and Toy Unity, and definitely, guys, don't forget to be at Toy. So we were trying to figure out, guys, help us out and help everybody out. Where is Nashville, Southeast Murfreesboro?
In Tennessee?
I thought so. Okay, like obviously you hear Nashville, you think Tennessee, but it didn't say Tennessee, so I just want to make sure. So, guys. October 9th and 10th.
I don't know if there's another Nashville out there.
I don't think so. I don't. Yeah. But the SE Murfreesboro threw me off, and I was like, wait a minute. Is there a 51st state called Nashville I don't know about?
It's like Panama City, Florida, and Panama City, Panama.
There you go. Kansas City. Got a couple of those, but yeah. Go ahead, Steve.
So what reveal kept people at the booth the longest? And if you need one that will keep people at the reveal, you can like model a figure after me and make them like Stutar, King of the Hawk People.
Okay.
Nice.
You could do that. You know what I mean? You can model me after Voltar from Flash Gordon. But what reveal kept people at the booth the longest, you think, that you guys can see?
Kept us at the longest.
Yeah, because you know how when you're at your booth, you're there, and there's always gonna be one thing that everybody's gonna just gravitate towards. Like they're gonna be like with G.I. Joe, you got Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow. Everybody gravitates towards Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow. I don't care who you are. So who is it? Like, what was it that kept people that they just boom, like that's the one they want?
I mean, for JoeFest, obviously we put out so many new figures that people had never seen before, from the Knight to the Great Dane, to the Goatman, and to what we refer to as the Skull Face guy, and then the Primals. So I think that the Knight probably spoke to the most people, but there were certainly individuals that were enamored with the Great Dane. There were certainly people enamored with the Goatman. And there were some people that really did enjoy the Skull Face guy. So, but I think the overwhelming one that got the most attention was probably the Knight, or Knights, because I think there was 2 on the table. But so that's just from that one show. Now, when we another show, I would say, I mean, Def Dealer was out there, and those were factory finished samples from the factory. So everybody was gushing about the chainmail and how awesome it looked. So that was exciting. I think anytime that we're at a show and we have Def Dealer out, or we have the Harbinger of the Abyss out, those always garner a lot of interest. The last couple of shows we haven't put out the Dwarf or Nesgrail, which also are fan favorites. We're doing that intentionally for yet to be revealed reasons, but yeah. So I don't know. I think our line just has a lot of breadth that speaks to a lot of different people.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
It is vast. It is a vast. It is a big line. For it to be a new one, like a newer. I always tell Reno, like, and we had this. I think it was like a week ago when we were talking about all the different IPs that are out there, and I was saying how like your line is something new. It's something fresh. It's different. It's something we've never seen before, and I think that a lot of people silently ask for that, and we never really get it or if the stuff that we do get, we get it, but it's not exactly what we always want. And you guys have nailed it out the park with this, with your line and what you've done.
Yeah, I think that's a big reason why Rob and the other artists that were working on my action figure customs wanted to start this company at the get-go, because we all are action figure fans and they wanted to make stuff that just wasn't out there.
Mm-hmm. That actually brings me to something that I've been wanting to ask for a while. One thing that separates Savage, right, Crucible from a lot of other independent toy lines is that every release feels connected to something larger. Nothing feels random. It feels like there's, every kind of figure is like another page in a story that's been unfolding behind the scenes. And so at what point did you realize that like package bios and trading cards were cool, but they just weren't enough anymore? When did you know you needed a graphic novel? Was that always part of the plan, or what kind of stories were you finding, yourselves wanting to tell that just couldn't be told on a card?
The graphic novel was there from the start. That was actually, we had that in the Kickstarter, the first graphic novel. And I think that was that the first item that shipped, or pretty close to the first item that shipped in the Kickstarter? Yeah.
Coins and graphic novel.
Yep. And the second one followed there shortly, and we're working on some one shots right now, and talking about the third graphic novel. So it was immensely important to all of us in terms of world building, so that people understood what we were trying to create. I always had the mechanic in mind of the portals that would allow anybody from any time or place to come in, and that was just sort of a mechanic built to be able to bring in other people's IP in much the same way that we do with our own toys and our own collecting. Like lots of times we'll mix different toy lines on our shelves, because it fits a story or an aesthetic that we really like.
Yeah. So would you say the toys inspired the comic, or the comic inspires the toys you make?
It goes both ways. There's no one-way street that we
so
have.
Some figures you kind of, I got to build a story on this guy that you designed, and then some it's like, I'm writing this story, I need a figure for it.
I would say that we give Abraham and Rubus full reign on the stories and the art, and so we have certain characters that we want to make sure are in the story, and we have certain races that we want to be in the story. And then beyond that, we let them do what they do best, and they're just artists, and so they'll create unique visuals and or unique types of characters. So that is how that plays out. We don't limit anything or anybody in terms of their artistic ability to tell a story or bring a story to the fans.
Right. So when a brand new Savage Crucible, sorry, Nikki, were you gonna say something?
No, go ahead.
Oh, so like when you're building a new character, what usually comes first? Is it somebody walking into the room like they can't stop thinking that they got an idea, or is it a piece of artwork, or Kevin showing up with a sculpt that's already sparking imagination, or is every character a little different?
I would say any and all of the above happens, because there's a lot of us with a lot of ideas, and the sculptors and the artists are very talented, and so sometimes it starts with a piece of concept art, sometimes it starts with a sculpt, sometimes it just starts with somebody's idea, and then we all kind of riff on it from there. I think Rob mentioned last time, like none of the figures have had just one person working on them from a conceptual or execution standpoint, so it's always some sort of collaboration, whether it's two people or more working on it to get it to the end product. So it's always just like an alchemy of the group, which is really cool to see.
So you think you guys gel really well together when it comes to ideas?
Not always, but for the most part, yeah.
No, everyone has a different idea. That is true, and like we will vote on things, and you don't always win what you want to see happen, but everyone still contributes. I don't think that we do gel really well, in all honesty. I think that falls on me just to make sure that everyone gets heard. I think that's the hardest part, is making sure that everyone gets heard. And I think
Sure.
that since we have so many different characters, I think everyone, for the most part, gets a time to shine. And so I think that's really where it comes into. And then also that goes back to just our philosophy of letting each artist in each step of the process bring something of themselves into it. It's very important, whether it's like Nikki painting something, or Kevin sculpting it, or Rubus doing 2D art, or even any other guys on the team just making suggestions about like accessories, weapons, backstory, names, those kind of things. So I think that's what contributes. You may not be able to design the entire figure, but you get to touch it.
Yeah.
Put your fingerprint on it.
And there's enough room in the Savage world where if a figure gets born that I don't really dig the style of or whatever, you know, in a couple months there's going to be a character that is totally my style. So there's, you know, it kind of oscillates. It's a cool thing to see, and knowing that, you know, you might not love every single thing, or it might not be exactly what you alone would have put out, but that's kind of the point of it.
And by the way, Nikki hates Goatman. Just wants you guys to know that.
I don't.
No.
I keep saying that. I really don't, actually.
Oh wow. Well, does she like Hawkman?
Yes.
Okay. So Stutar, king of the Hawkmen. I just throwing that out there. You know what I mean? That could be a whole nother storyline. You know what I mean? You know,
So, yeah, I mean, I think it could work. My man Frank Doom on you in the building. He has a question that kind of I was about to ask. Female characters, what's on the horizon? What are we planning? What are you thinking? What's going on?
They've been in the works for a long time. Just taking a lot of time, attention, and research, because we want them to be amazing. And
yeah, right.
The funny thing is that I told Rob at the very beginning is you will never get more input or comments from fans than when you put out a female figure, because every person has their very specific idea of what they want to see in a female figure, what they're attracted to, what is aesthetically pleasing to them. And so it's a very hard thing to do, because you are definitely not going to make everybody happy.
Right. Right. Well, so Rob, like, either one of you, because I want to talk like fantasy sword and sorcery figures are a very competitive, market these days. What have you guys talked about doing special to get new customers? It's kind of a two-parter too, like, because we want to know, what have you talked about to get new Savage customers that are already into fantasy, and what are you doing to get people into fantasy figures that maybe weren't? Or have you talked about that?
I mean, yeah, we talk about, I mean, let me just be real honest. We don't really worry about bringing fans into Savage Crucible to collect. We kind of go with the philosophy that if we just make really cool things, people are going to, if you build it, they will come.
Yep.
May not always be the best financial strategy. We certainly do things behind the scenes to help promote our brand. There's no doubt about that. But I would say that we tend to focus on what we want to see, either original IP or licensed IP. From a strategy perspective, licensed IP will bring in new fans that your own original IP won't. And so it's just a fact that Death Dealer and Elric bring in more people into the Savage Crucible brand than anything the Harbinger or Jaeger or Brignar and Araka or Viteris Rapax or the Varnox, which are all amazing figures. I mean, we have a lot of amazing figures and a lot of amazing characters, but the fact of the matter is that those people bring in new fans, and that's how we treat licensed IP. We go after things that we truly are passionate about and want to see, and then things that we think that will expand the fan base from that perspective.
And I would say too, like, just being in the collector space in general, just speaking from my own experience, sometimes companies will come out with a figure and the figure itself, it doesn't fit in with my collection at all, but it's just such a great figure from like an aesthetic point of view or an engineering point of view, where I'm like, I need to have that figure. And I think if we do focus on just putting out great figures, folks like that will come and try out the product.
They have
No,
come. They have come. You know, as one.
Yeah.
I mean, a bunch of people. But you guys, and me and Reno have talked about this. You guys put out something that when we were growing up, the fantasy genre was something that everybody always gravitated, especially in the 80s and 90s. But it's grown so much and it's gotten us here. But you guys put out a figure unlike any other in the fantasy genre. Like, so you with the articulation and the parts and the bashing up, like you've answered all the questions that people had. Do you feel like they still over complain?
Nikki, you get to answer this one. I'll
As
answer.
one who answers many social media comments.
Well, Nikki, it's not to cut you off, but it's like we like it. But do you feel like, you know, because you know people like it because of the success of your company. But do you think that people still just complain a little too much, and you've given them all you can give?
Yeah, I think that's just a generally true statement for the internet in all of our lives, because if you were just interacting with people live, they probably wouldn't be so forward with complaining about so many things. And I would say when we first started, we had a lot more negative comments and complaints and this and that. And that has definitely tabled off over time. You know, sometimes there'll be an event that sparks controversy or whatever, like Elric Gate. But, you know, overall, I think people know now like what to expect from the line. They know if they have a problem, a QC problem or something, we're going to address it right away. They can just simply email us. It'll be fixed. Send you a replacement part. So hopefully people are, you know, getting that point.
Okay. Yeah. Well, so you mentioned aesthetics and other you know companies and you know I've seen some of your other interviews and you know I know you're lifelong G.I. Joe fan like most of us, and one of the things that I thought was really cool was you said that your favorite characters were like at the time were like Fast Draw and Techno Viper and basically ones that most people might not have thought were the coolest, but they were not your brother's favorite, and that's why you chose them. And that is like my sister would have emulated and picked what I picked, like what I was doing, kind of thing. But you mentioned that before, before that part of what drew you to him was that your older brother didn't have him to Fast Draw, and I thought that was interesting because most siblings do that. But looking back now, what do you think that says about who you were as a kid or who you are as an artist?
I think I was just like my brother when I was a kid, he just had all the cool stuff and I like coveted it, right? Because I was like, I want that Snake Eyes with the wolf. And my mom wasn't going to buy us two of the same figure, right? And so it made me move to a space where I really had to claw out what could be my own and what I could think was cool and not be looking at somebody else. And so I think that's been like a resounding theme in life, is not to just do stuff for yourself and not be looking and being envious of other people, and just go after what you're passionate about, what you want to pursue.
Nice.
Good philosophy.
I will say that Nikki, much like a lot of other members on the team, do an incredible job of knowing what they like and verbalizing what they like and not compromising on that. So I think, and I say this, but it's not hyperbolic, but I don't like yes men. That doesn't help to a project ever. Nobody ever has to agree on anything, but if people don't feel comfortable to give their opinions, to give feedback and tell you what they like, then it does create an echo chamber that will lead to your failure.
Yeah, because nobody will be able to develop and take risks or do anything. And
so that's just a long way of saying I'm grateful for Nikki's brother hoarding Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow.
Absolutely. And Nikki, you said also that you were a big fan of the Iron Grenadiers. That was my joint. Those were my guys. So when you look back at Iron Grenadiers today, like not as a kid, but as a professional artist, do you see things in those designs that you subconsciously, you know, might have shaped your eye, or there's still lessons in those G.I. Joe aesthetics that influenced the way you approach Savage Crucible painting?
Definitely. I think just the whole idea of it's not good or bad, and there's a third faction that was just ambiguous, I think totally goes into Savage Crucible, where it's not clear cut. There can be changing allegiances. There can be gray characters. Yeah, absolutely.
Nice, nice. And since we're talking G.I. Joe, before we move back on, I got to ask something that we've been talking about on our show ever since Danny McBride's movie plans came out, ever since, you know, everybody has their own idea of the perfect G.I. Joe film. You know, some people want gritty military realism. Some people want something closer to Sunbow, kind of how Motu did it. Others want a modern adventure, whatever. So what kind of G.I. Joe movie are you hoping Danny McBride makes? What's your ultimate Joe film look like?
I've thought for years that they should just lean into the period piece of the 80s and just go not silly like the cartoon, but like the comics, and like emulate those aesthetics. Don't try to make it modern realism, but just like go to the nostalgia, go to the heart of the property, go to that time period, because I think that would be super enjoyable.
I agree. That's dope. What do you think, Rob? You're a Joe fan too, or no? You just fantasy?
Oh, you know, definitely a Joe fan.
Nice. Nice.
I would say that I think Nikki's idea is pretty awesome. I think that the early 80s gives you the opportunity to bring in tech from the 80s and 90s, late 80s and 90s, that would make it seem very realistic in a lot of ways. So,
yeah,
I mean, that works for me. I don't, yeah, nanotechnology and all that kind of stuff's cool and all. But I think the idea is that in the world we live in today is not the best setting for G.I. Joe.
Right.
Fair.
Yeah. I mean, I'd see people like complaining about military stuff in context that as well too, like, you know, not wanting people to make military figures and stuff like that. But which of course leads us to the question: do you have plans to make any military lines or military figures or get into that space?
No,
not at all. No,
it's a very crowded space.
Sure is.
And a lot of companies are putting out some really amazing things. So beyond just Hasbro and Classified. So I mean, you look at Action Force and what they've done. You know, they really, from my perspective, brought Classified forward in a lot of ways that they otherwise wouldn't have. And so, you know, I think that you look at things like the new figures from Acid Rain are really cool, which is really not Acid Rain. They're just licensing the Acid Rain. It's the Chosen Prime that are making those. But yeah,
I did not know that.
they're licensing. That's my understanding. I could be wrong, but my understanding is that the Chosen Prime is licensing that. But you know,
that's awesome.
Let me just look.
I believe you.
Yeah, no, I mean, I just picked this up at JoeFest. This is so like if you look at the back here, you know, you can see all the Chosen Prime, Vex Hobby.
Yeah,
all those. So, I've never really looked at the legalese to see. That's actually interesting. They don't put that on there. That's definitely Chinese packaging. Yeah,
what figure is that?
Company at the very bottom of the package, so it's not there. But yeah, so they're doing some really cool stuff. I think it said Skeletron's doing some cool stuff. There's a couple other lines that are coming out too that are doing some really cool things. And then, I mean, it's just oversaturated. It would be. I'll do anything as long as I think it's a unique and creative idea. I mean, Monster Force is also very cool. Very, very, very popular right now as well. And which, you know, they all have their own little tweaks, you know, like Monster Force definitely kind of lean, you know, it's military, but also brings in like some horror elements and things like that, which is a cool idea. Skeletron's a little bit more like futuristic kind of.
Yeah.
but also pulling on sort of that outside the U.S. nostalgia. Action Force is definitely heavily 80s GI Joe kind of mindset, with a modern spin on it. So unless I can come up with something that would be truly unique, or someone on the team could, I don't foresee us. There's so many, as we call them, green pastures out there that no
Yeah.
one is doing anything about. That's sort of where we want to put our attention.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. That makes sense. And I mean, the fantasy space, like we said, it's a huge market. Like, it's a growing market. But you guys have really carved out, a nice spot, and you guys are really like kind of picking the door in and pushing your way through, and I love it, man. And so, for the reason that I got into Savage Crucible, like you said, you're absolutely right. Those IP figures bring people in, but it wasn't. I probably would have done the same thing if I would have saw like any one of these other figures. This was the first figure that I saw a review, and it blew my mind because I'm already a fan of Elric. Like, I read the book when I was a teenager. That Michael Moorcock is like just the I don't know. I just feel like that he defines dark fantasy, and everything since him has pretty much been like a bite. So yeah, you had Frazetta paintings, but now you introduce one of the, most influential literary fantasy characters ever created. Even if you don't know about him, he's influenced everything you watch in fantasy from Game of Thrones on. And so I think, it introduced a whole new audience, both to your company and to the Michael Moorcock, mythos. So what is it about Elric for you that convinced you that he deserved to be Savage Crucible's one of the first licensed characters, and what do you think modern fantasy fans, might overlook about Michael Moorcock's influence?
Well, one, and Nikki knows this, I love being the first to do anything. So the fact that no one had ever done an Elric before was in itself reason enough for me to want to do it. Right. When you look at Michael Moorcock, he is he's the grandfather of the multiverse. He is the first like mainstream person to come up with a true multiverse concept. And he definitely, some people refer to him as like the anti-Tolkien, right? Like he was, the morally gray, the ambiguous, the concept of order and chaos, not good and evil per se, but like being a balance, is something that I can certainly relate to. Because a glass of water is great, but you can drown in a river. So it's the same concept of order and chaos. They're both water. It's just how hard it's crushing, right? So for me, I thought it was really important to be able to bring in someone that influential. That's why we picked up the Fafhrd and Greymauser from the Fritz Lieber estate, because the guy that literally coined the term sword and sorcery, he's gotten, Magnolia did a whole graphic series on those two characters, but no one's ever come out, to my knowledge, and done figures of those guys. And those are hugely important literary characters, just like Elric. So I think it's fun. I enjoy it. I like bringing a spotlight to it. I agree that, yes, it does certainly introduce those fans to Savage Crucible, but fans of Savage Crucible have definitely been turned on to Elric that didn't know about it before. They didn't know that inspired The Witcher. They didn't know that inspired the Targaryens. Elric is the original dragon rider. So, yeah.
All of it. So much.
It's just neat. I love it. So that's my perspective on it. We continue to expand. We'll have several announcements this year on new IPs that we're bringing in to our world, that I think people are going to get excited about. And
nice.
Yeah. What about dragons? Are you going to introduce rideable dragons or hawk people?
Dragons.
I am a big fan of winged characters. So I could certainly, and I'm a big fan of the Hawkman from Flash Gordon. I love.
So much. We got so much in common.
Yeah, right. Like I'm Voltar is just he is an amazing character, and that the British actor, that guy, I think he was pretty sure he was British that played that. It just did that guy just looked like he was just having the best time of his life in that movie, right? Like
apparently.
Have you ever read China Melville? Perdido Street Station? Yeah.
Well, Stutar would have a great time as a Hawkman, but that's we're not gonna get off subject with that. But apparently they didn't have a good time. That they said the wings were too big and they couldn't sit down and things like that. But that's a whole nother discussion. But dragons would be good, I think, because the detail that you guys add to these figures, I think I'd be the first one to buy. And Nikki, do you have any dragon drawings lying around or paintings?
Oh yeah, I have a ton of artwork, but yeah, I mean, check out some of the JoeFest table pictures. There's also some really cool concept art in the back of the second graphic novel. So
okay,
you can see some cool and see if that's the direction that you'd be interested in.
Well, I'm more interested in the fact that is any of it ever going to come out? Like, I like what we get, because this dog that you did is really
no, Stu. Look in the background behind the dog. You see those heads?
Yeah, I see the heads. Yeah,
the dragon heads, huge dragon,
and those are cool. I like them.
Yeah.
Now, can you put those on the dog? Like, could you pull the dog's head? Put the dragon heads
on it? The heads and necks themselves are bigger than the dog.
Yeah, right. I like this stuff too.
Yeah,
you got the meat.
Yep,
meat for the beast.
We love a little world building with any character, right? So
absolutely.
So who came up with the idea for the portals and
the portals?
Yeah,
that was actually me.
That was
that was you.
Oh wow.
Now, will we ever get a figure of Who-Man in the t-shirt and the shorts with the sneakers?
I don't
limited.
I mean, it's not on my to-do list. It's certainly a possibility. That's just a thought just occurred to me. Yeah, I don't know about that. There's so many other things that we want to do. Like, put it in perspective. I think last time I put the list together, which was a couple weeks ago, we have like 31 or 32 SKUs on our list that are like sculpted, either completely sculpted and are tooled, or in tooling process, or completely sculpted. So like we have a lot of characters to get through already. That doesn't include like simple variations and things like that. So but you never say never, because you never know when something's gonna, because I'll be honest, that whole like Jim Bro Skeletor thing is like the best thing ever. Like, right? I'm like,
absolutely.
It really is.
Yo, Stu, man, we gotta say what's up to Fanboy Tone, man. What's good?
Fanboy, very much.
It's a great time to be a savage. So much excitement. Yes, phenomenal time to be a savage collector, period. So since we're talking IPs and Elric, kind of staying on the licensing subject a little bit, on the surface, it sounds kind of simple, like you call somebody, sign up paperwork, make the toy, but every time you hear, you discuss like licensing, it's obvious there's a whole world behind the scenes that most collectors never see: approvals, relationships, creative restraints, royalties, timelines, all of it. And so from your perspective, like, how different is it working with a literary property like Elric compared to pursuing like an anime license or a major toy property or something that is rooted in mythology?
Each IP holder, irregardless of the genre that it comes from, is different.
Okay.
So like licensing, just from a literary standpoint, licensing from the Fritz Lieber estate is different than licensing from the Moorcock estate, right? Which I've had talks with other literary agencies and or estates, and those conversations were entirely different. So everyone has a different perception of what their characters and or someone that's related to them's legacy is, and the monetary value associated with that, or their plans for the future. And so some people have very grand plans for the future, and a company like Savage Crucible, they feel may not be the best place for their characters. That's what I would say. It doesn't really matter whether it's anime or literary or whatever. It's each individual IP holder is different, whether it's a major corporation or an individual. Because sometimes, and I can tell you that like there are large companies that have been incredibly easy to work with, deal with, get signed. And then there have been smaller one-offs with even just the creator, which is next to impossible to get a deal worked out.
Really?
Right.
And you think that's more because they're trying to protect their
It's
IP,
their baby.
or
Yeah.
is it more greed? Like they feel like it's worth more than you think it's worth.
I can't say that I personally have felt anyone was motivated by greed. I would say that their mindset is they're being protective, or they have a specific way that they think things have to happen, whether that's right or wrong. So I think in these situations, the best case for yourself is to be open-minded and try to see it from their perspective, and give them the space to see that that's how you're trying to look at it through that lens. Because you never know, like if you burn bridges and you just tell, like you get upset or whatever, that hurts you for the future, which, there's licenses that I've been turned down for that I would like to go back and see a second time, maybe in 2 years, that works. I can tell you that the person that brought us, Foffer and Grey Mouser, have been trying to work on that license for 20 years. And it took that long before, and this is a very influential person, relatively speaking, in Hollywood. So that's how long it took him to finally be able to get, because he's a big toy collector, and that's how long it took him for that door to finally open.
Wow. That makes me think about so the something that collectors here mentioned, every year, but probably couldn't explain if you asked them. Licensing Expo. So it comes up in all conversations, whenever people start speculating about licenses, but somebody always says, well, maybe they'll announce something after Licensing Expo, but I don't think collectors know exactly what happens there. If we follow you around like Licensing Expo for a day, what would we see? Why is that event so important to companies like Harvinger?
Wow. So Licensing Expo is its own unique beast. The booths at the Licensing Expo are the largest booths I've ever seen created. Like they can literally be like six booths wide and like 15 booths deep. It's like bigger than most people's houses.
Wow.
And they can be multi-level. And the Licensing Expo was the first time I ever seen security placed at the front of a booth that you couldn't even. The booth is designed to keep people out, and it has meeting areas inside, and they have security, and you can't get inside to meet with those people unless you have an appointment. And so that's what Licensing Expo really is about setting appointments. You can rarely just, especially with the big boys, you can't just walk up and start talking to them. That's not how it works.
Okay.
You request a meeting, and they will either accept it or deny it. That is the reality. I can tell you that I was denied by several companies at the Licensing Expo. Not everyone goes to the Licensing Expo. I mean, the Prezetta license and the Moorcock license were not obtained through the Licensing Expo at all.
Right.
So it's a unique situation. You get to meet a lot of people, but I will say that everything and anything is licensed there for the most part. But there's just such a dichotomy between, you can go to like, somebody will have a 10 by 10 booth with an IP, and then they'll be like 6 booths down from this mega city of booths to create, for Warner Brothers or for MGM or Hasbro or Mattel or whatever. So
they're really trying to sell you guys more than they would sell like us with those booths and those displays. Is that what you mean? Like by the size of it, like they're really going all out for these expos more than they would do at like a regular customer con?
Oh yeah, the Mattel booth at the Licensing Expo puts any Mattel booth at a toy show to shame. Hands down. Okay.
See?
We believe it. No, we believe it. We believe it.
My question to you guys is, what IPs would you like to see?
From you guys or from just period?
Well, from Savage Crucible, I mean, for me, like I'm so into this right here, and Eternal Champion and Michael Moorcock and like all the characters from that. I really want to see more from that whole world. That's what I want to see. You got characters, like other characters you're gonna do from that, or
Yes, there's 2 more Eternal Champions that we're under contract to do.
nice,
Okay.
nice. Now, Eternal Champions, as in not Elric, other Eternal Champions,
Well, I mean, if you read Elric,
because there's others.
Kind of Elric.
True. But I mean, so that okay. Enough said.
I would like to see Hawk people, Stutar, King of the Hawk people. But that could be later down the line. That doesn't have to be immediately. That doesn't have to be immediately. That could be 2 years from now. That could be 3 years. I don't know. It could drop tomorrow. I don't know. Maybe Nikki has a scope of, Stutar, King of the Hawk people. I don't know. But I would like to see. You ever watch Dungeons and Dragons, the old cartoon from the Saturday morning? There was a character on there named Lucian. You don't remember Lucian? He was a knight, but he was like a skeleton. It was like a skeleton.
I know. Yes, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, but he had all his armor and he had all his weapons, and like there was like certain parts that were exposed. You could see the bone, like you could just see like the bone. Like, have you guys ever? I mean, I would like to see something like that, or like Avenger, Esquite type sorcerer. I'm into the sorcerers. I don't know why. I'm just into them. And Hawk people. I'm just into the
Sorcerers and Hawk people. Got it.
Yeah, I'm into them.
Yeah.
I
Definitely Hawk people though.
Yeah, I don't know why, but I'm into them. And I have a question, and I do have a question for you, Robin. Will we ever get the silver decoder back? I missed that one.
Yeah, so I think if we do another decoder, it's just going to be a different color.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll be on the lookout for that.
Just like the same philosophy of like why we don't do reissues of existing figures we're not going to reissue it in the exact same way that it was made, the exact same colors, the exact same accessories. It would be the same with the decoder if we ever put that out again, because we want to respect the people that acquired that already.
Right.
Okay. So,
Plus,
you want to make them like a one of a kind. Yeah, like you want to make them like a one of a kind.
Yeah.
Okay. Good. I'm glad you brought that up. So, and I've heard Rob talk about that, not doing reissues and why you don't do it. What made you break that rule for Elric? Or do you consider that a reissue?
We didn't break any rules for Elric.
No, that's not a reissue.
What is not a reissue?
Well, Elric came out. I missed the first time you sold him. Then you were sold out. I would have had to go out to the aftermarket. Then recently you put him back up. You remember what I'm talking about? He just came back up, was up for like 30 seconds, and that's how I got mine.
Yeah. So
second time
with Elric and with any of the pre-order figures, they're going to go up for a direct pre-order first. So for Elric, that window was open for several months from us. Then it goes to a retailer pre-order, and that window for Elric was over a year that was open.
Right.
So it was available for pre-order for a year. And then as soon as we announced he was coming from the factory, it all sold out at retail. And so we fulfilled all of the direct pre-orders, all of the retailer pre-orders. And then after all that was fulfilled, there was a very small amount of stock that was allocated for the website that went up in the in-stock sale that sold out within a couple minutes. So that's what you're saying is a reissue or second offering. It was only after the first offering of that initial run.
Okay. Yeah, because I was just confused about that, but that makes sense. And so what I was going to say is what you'll see. Rob was on a show the other night and he kind of explained this. So not with Elric, but with some other figures, sometimes like Dravarthi, for example, we got a small amount fast shipped so that we could have it available to reveal at the con and sell it at the con. The rest of that run is on a boat
coming over. So it's going to be offered on the website later in the summer. So it's not a reissue or necessarily a restock, but it's just the rest of that run coming. So you might see that with some other figures where they'll be like out of the store for a while and then they'll come back on the website. That's usually just more stock of that initial run arriving.
So we understand. So
Nice. Okay, my bad, Rob. I didn't mean to say
No, you're
broke
good.
So what is it? Oh God, I'm sorry.
No, I was like, no, those are great questions because you're not the first. You're not going to be the last person confused, and people don't. It's sometimes it's semantics, sometimes it's terminology, but we do things a little crazy too, like fast shipping things. Most people don't do that. It's more expensive, but we're trying to make our fans happy. So.
Yeah, and as a collector, like I really want to know. I want to be the person who knows exactly what the process is from that company. I want to know if I buy this, are they going to reissue it? Is my investment going to go up in value? Is it going to be worthless? Like, is it a figure that had a ton of run, like a Star Wars Black Series, and if I ever want to sell this, it's going to be less than what I paid for it. So I like to know all those things. So you asking that is totally in line with what I would want to do too. Right.
And what does that feel like when personally, because I've never been able to ask anybody this, but I'm always curious to know, what does it feel like when the figure sells out in like seconds? Like you're looking at it, it's just gone.
I mean, for me, ideally, just from a social media perspective, I would like to see them up for at least an hour for people to get a chance at it. We did limit it to one per person, and the stock that's allocated for cons is limited to one per person. But to have something sell out, it's like everybody knows it's popular. It's an acknowledgement that it's popular. It's kind of like an interesting moment, but you're going to get so many disappointed people, and people get really upset if they can't get it. So, for 2 weeks, it was a little rough.
Yeah. And do you guys feel bad about that? Like, because everybody's not going to get one. And I know you guys want everybody to have, of course, everybody wants everybody to have something that they're selling. They want everybody in the world to get one. But how does that make, do you guys feel like, like that's the best we could do? Or you feel like I'm sorry, or like, hey guys, it's just popping. Nothing I can do. Like, how do you guys feel personally?
I think my main thing is I just wanted people to understand that it wasn't us trying to play tricks on people. It wasn't us artificially limiting the stock. It wasn't us trying to play games. It was, this figure was up for pre-order for a year and a half. We've made more individual physical things of this than we have any other figure, and I'm sorry you missed out. Like that's happened to me. Like, just going to order any product, doesn't have to be an action figure. Sometimes you just miss out on stuff, and that's what it is.
We get upset about action figures though. I can understand, but we get upset about action figures a little more than something else off of Amazon, like a chair or a table.
Yeah, but Rob,
you're a collector.
Definitely chime in on that question, Rob.
Rob, what were you going?
I don't know that my answer is that politically correct. I would say
it ain't gotta be. This is the toy trap.
Yeah, I would say that I did not get sad or emotional about it. If something sold out that fast, that means that we didn't understand demand, which you never truly understand a demand curve for any product. And so you kind of look at like, okay, was there something we could have done or anticipated or looked to give us any better information? So I look at it as a way to try to improve. But do I feel bad? Oh, hell no. I mean, there was kids molested today. People died. There's war. Like, you didn't get the action figure that was on pre-order for a year. No, I don't emotionally feel bad. Put that into a different context, like ZoloCon, where Saturday by 10:30 we're sold out, and there's still people coming in who were VIP ticket holders trying to get our figure, and we're sold out, and they drove 6 hours and they don't have an opportunity. That makes me feel bad because they, they thought they did everything they were supposed to. Like, they bought a VIP ticket, they got in line early. They had no control over the fire marshal saying, no, we can only let so many people in and then the people that were in chose to stay on the floor and keep coming back through the line to buy multiple copies, while some guy that's bought a VIP ticket's upstairs. That really sucks. It's like that, like that. Someone didn't take a lot of time out, and it's not remotely close to someone dying or something else like in that nature, but that is certainly something that I do feel bad about. And so that's like why we implemented the reservation system. Ren came up with this great way to help people reserve a figure, no dollars up front, so that when you get to the show, you know that you have this copy of the figure reserved, so you don't need to stress out about that. And so those are ways to improve. But I think that this just goes back to collecting. We all enjoy collecting. We all enjoy action figures. It's the little thing in our life that we feel like we have control over. And so when we lose that control for a moment, that one safe space, and we might have multiple safe spaces, but that is definitely a safe space for us. When you lose that, or it feels not as safe, that is a threatening thing. So I can understand how some people can have a bad day over it, certainly. And I can feel how people would certainly feel jaded or just to be in a bad mood. Now if you're in a bad mood for 2 weeks, that's a problem. And I can't do anything about that, but there's I'm not telling people they shouldn't feel bad or upset in the moment. We've all been disappointed, and that's completely legitimate.
And
I was just gonna say that was a great perspective. You go ahead, please.
I asked some people that have come around asking if we're going to reissue it, or expressing disappointment that they didn't get the figure, and I asked them, do you know the character? Are you attached to the character? Just trying to get an understanding of what area they're coming from. And the vast majority of people I asked that, they had no knowledge of the Elric character, but they saw the figure and they just thought it was a very cool action figure. And I think that's where a lot of the late in the game hype came from, was people just really liked the action figure itself. They weren't attached to the character.
That's a good, that brings me, because I was gonna say, I was gonna ask Rob, when you decided to do Elric of Melniboné, I know I almost forgot about it. Like I said, I read it when I was 15, and I hadn't really thought about it for many years. And then seeing the figure brought it back up and everything. And I was going around yo, they're doing an Elric figure. And people were like, who the fuck is that? What are you talking about? And I was like, no one's read this book. And even people that had the figure, I was like, have you read the book? I want to talk about it with someone. No one. So did you were you surprised that it lit out like this on such almost an unknown figure? Like that?
Yeah. Yeah.
I bet. Now you use this stuff called POK for the armor, right?
Correct. Well, for the joints. Yes.
Oh, the joints. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. And do you use that for all joints in your figures, or just Elric?
Elric was the first. The knees and Death Dealer have the POK, and then the Drevarthi and every figure on after that will have POK joints.
And for people who don't know, why would you choose to use POK, something that hasn't really been used in a while or doesn't get used a lot?
POK has been around a long time. It just hasn't been really used in action figures. It is almost as strong at what we would consider a stable room temperature as POM. What happens is at lower or higher temperatures, POK has a higher strength and give, and paint also sticks better to POK than POM. Not great, but certainly better than POM. And I guess I've done this before, but I can do it again. This is why you pick POK. For those that don't know, that's POK. And
let me make you bigger. There you go. It's not gonna break.
It'll break eventually. But
right.
What really happens is you'll destroy the surrounding ABS plastic before you destroy the POK.
Okay. Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah. And I did see you do that before, but I wanted everyone else to see it, so that's awesome.
We're not the first. There's a couple other Chinese companies that tried it, and It is more expensive. It's a more expensive material. And there is a learning curve to it as well. But we're really happy where the Dravarthi came out. We added has POK joints, but we added an additional process to the Dravarthi figure. And so we feel like it probably has the smoothest joints that we've put out. I know that some people love for their figure to have like super smooth joints out of the package.
Yeah.
And I'm here to tell you that after a year, that does not hold up very well. And I think also our figures are a lot of fun to pose.
Yeah.
And so I want them to hold up very well to people posing them out over the years. So
exactly. Yeah, no, that's the way to go. And you mentioned China, like and I know you've been to WonderFest, and like, which by the way, if you haven't been to WonderFest, apparently it's like San Diego Comic-Con, but all toys.
Shanghai the WonderFest that's in Japan is pretty awesome. I've been told. I haven't been to that one, but I go to the WonderFest in Shanghai. I'll be back there this year again, and it is pretty much San Diego Comic-Con, but every booth is just a toy vendor.
Jeez.
Yeah, it's literally like 80 to 100 indie toy companies. That doesn't include the big boys. Like that's just the little guys. So at WonderFest, like what have you seen there that you think Western toy companies should be bringing home after seeing how things are done there? Is there anything? I don't want to share that with my competition.
Okay. Fair. I like that answer.
They gotta go.
Yeah, they can go.
I like that answer. So, okay, follow-up question. What do you think that Japanese toy markets are not understanding about Western markets that's keeping them from really breaking in?
I don't know that it's when you say understanding, I think the biggest barrier for when you're trying to sell something in a foreign country is marketing. And when you don't speak the language, that's in itself inherently a barrier. So you look at some of the cool figures that have come out of China, and then you read the English on the packaging, and it sounds like a 4-year-old wrote it.
Right.
And that in itself can be a turnoff for certain fans. Like they pick it up, look at it, and go, okay, well, if they couldn't get that sentence right, it's got 4 words in it, then how can the figure be that great, right? That's the first thing. The second thing I think is that they definitely are heading towards the super premium price point, the $100 and more stuff. And I think that's a perception of how they think Western society is just so rich. It goes back to another misconception. Like they talk about New York City and they think, oh, the toy hunting in New York City must be amazing. All right. And not that it's not, it's cool. Right. But New York City is a fraction the size of like Hong Kong or Shanghai. Yeah. Like it is
like Tokyo or something.
Shanghai's like 24 million people. New York City's like 6. Okay. Do you understand the size difference? Like it is massively different. So I don't know. It's just those are the things that I look at and think about in those kind of contexts that I would think that they're missing on. At the same time, they're also doing really cool things. They're being really inventive. And so when you have small indie toy companies that want to push the envelope like they're doing in China right now, some really cool things can come out of that. So some really cool concepts and ideas. So just my take.
Now, how well do you think that your line is doing overseas? Because like that's always a big thing. They're not always as accepting of our things as we are of theirs.
I think Savage is doing just fine in China.
Okay.
That was probably the biggest humbling thing was how many creators actually knew who I was and would pull up pictures on their phone and show me like they had one of my figures. Yeah, and I was just like,
no, because that's always big.
Awesome.
Like, because we buy a lot of this stuff. We're into Godzilla. We're into Gundams and all that. And it's like me personally, like, if I was in Japan last year, I like to see that they're embracing our stuff just as much as, theirs. Like, because it just goes to show you, like, they're actually really watching. Because, a lot of people don't leave the U.S. and they don't know. So,
So I would say, think of it like this. In much the same way that Savage Crucible got started because a bunch of guys and girls got together and wanted to see certain things that other indie toy companies in America were not making.
Mhm.
Those people in other parts of the world have the same feeling because everything seems so very Western centric. And so that's why you see a lot of their figures being having a heavy, what I consider Asian influence on the design, is because that's what has been missing. That's why they did what they did. There's certain things that they want to see, their lore, their history, their mythology that they grew up with, that isn't heavily explored in Western society for the most part. So yeah.
Yeah, makes
No,
sense.
this is true because I lived over there for a little bit, and then you got like you got the Akibara section where you go there, and that's just that is something you have to literally experience to believe. Like I can't even. There's no way I can describe it other than just say you got to do it. You just got to go do it.
Yep. I can certainly relate to that. Toy hunting in Hong Kong is an amazing experience. It's crazy. It's so uniquely different than anything we've ever experienced.
In what way?
So like you'll go to a building, and the building will have 32 floors.
Floors, yeah.
Yeah, they're just straight up. Okay.
Just all full of toys.
Yeah, and then like you'll just go like the first level will be toys, and there's like 20 stores, but the stores are small. It's like an office cubicle, right? And like, but it's like stacked floor to ceiling with stuff. So like when you walk, like sometimes like I have to like shimmy sideways to get into it because it's packed with so much stuff. And then like you're like looking up trying to see everything, but then like you have to like crank your neck down to try to see what's below you on the shelf. And you'll go into store after store after store like that. And it's just wild. Like it's different. And then like you'll go up and like but this is another thing it's hard for people to understand in at least in Western culture. You go to a building and you'll go up to the third floor, and the third floor will be baby stuff.
Right.
Yeah. And then the fourth floor will be a consulting business.
Yeah.
And then the next floor will be like back to like regular shops. And then there'll be like there might be like a meat packing plant on like the 18th floor.
Nice. Okay.
Like, yeah.
I got you. Yeah.
It's like when you're just toy hunting, like you're just getting on, you look and you just go like, is there anything on here I see that I think I might like? And then like each floor has like a list of things, and you're kind of looking and see if there's something you want. And then you're like, nope, go to the next floor. So that's what's really interesting. Now there's certain buildings that have a lot of toy stores in them.
Yeah.
So that's what's truly different and unique. And then I would also say the vending machine experience, like a lot of toys are sold in vending machines. Like a lot of the stuff that Nikki really wants for me to bring back are these like all the amphibians and the reptiles that are coming out of vending machines.
My coworkers loved it.
Yes. And those are at grocery stores. Like that's like grocery. Like remember when we used to buy comics in a grocery store?
Yeah. I bought Spawn in the grocery store. The first Spawn,
yes. Yeah. And so like that's like they have these in grocery stores. Like you just go up and you put the tokens in, you get a toy. And it's cool.
And in Japan they have whole when I was in Japan, they had whole little like stores, like big as arcades,
vending machines,
just full of like vending machines, and the little turn with the capsules. That's what.
Yep. Yeah. There's a name for those stores too. They got a name. Yeah. It's a type of store. I forgot the name, but
yeah, they were into that. Rob, have you guys ever run into? And this is a question I think about a lot too. So you got your Savage Crucible, you got your Elric, you got all your figures. Have you ever been to China and seen like knockoffs of your figures over there?
No,
not there yet.
Not yet, or just haven't seen it.
It's so coming.
There's two ways of doing a knockoff. The first way we'll never experience. The first way is a factory makes stuff. They offer so and so company such a low price, and the understanding is that they're going to make more, and that's going to walk out the back door.
Right. Okay. Same thing with clothes and shoes. Yeah, it happens.
Exactly. So it's not a knockoff. It's made by the same factory. Blah blah blah. The second way is, and I've seen this, where someone will take your figure and have it retooled like they'll mold it again, and it looks like your figure, but everything, like if you took the pieces off that and tried to put it on your figure, it wouldn't fit.
Oh shit!
Right?
Yeah.
There's a size difference, right? Because they because what happens is like that's why they say like when they do 104% is roughly what you would print something at before it gets molded, because it's going to shrink. And so when you think about it, they're dealing with the 100% version, not the 104% version. So theirs is going to be like, that's sort of like what a real knockoff is like they take something like that. We don't have the demand to garner that. So like the things that are really sort of knockoff-ish are like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Yeah, like that has such a huge following that's something you can knock off. Pokemon is something that you can knock off, right? Those the squishy dumplings. I don't know if you guys have kids or not.
No, I know what you're talking about.
Okay, yes, the squishy dumplings. Like everyone has them for sale. Those are knockoffs. If you look at the bottom, it doesn't say RMS on it. It's a knockoff. But like you can't do anything about like that's so easy to like turn out.
Or like Labubu's. And you got Lafufus.
Labubu's, yeah, or Bubu, whatever, yeah, whatever.
So I don't really worry about that. Not at this point. That's not something. I think InArt does an amazing job of how they put all the security tape on their packaging. I don't know if you guys have ever opened InArt before, but it's crazy to me. And they even tell you like you have to videotape the entire unboxing in order to be eligible for replacement parts.
Oh, yeah.
Are you serious?
Yes.
So they can see the tape coming off of each thing, and
they have to watch you uncut it, and then like if you're missing something or something breaks during that, there's a QR code that you scan to upload the video to get it, and without that, they won't replace anything.
Yeah.
That is.
Wild.
You learn something new every day. I've been wild right now. So,
man, that's a great insight, man. And we've been so a good little minute. We've been talking with Rob over the manufacturing, engineering, business stuff side like that. And I don't think collectors fully appreciate how much of a figure's personality changes once paint enters the picture. So, Nikki, you've talked before about your painting process, and just to kind of go a little deeper, like when Kevin, for instance, hands you a brand new sculpt for the first time, before you ever reach for a brush or start thinking about colors, what are you looking for? What are the first things that your eye naturally gravitates toward? How do you tell how you're going to approach, bringing that to life?
Yeah, if it's something that hasn't been discussed already as a concept and like the direction that the team wants to go with it, I'm going to be looking at what materials the sculptor intended those parts to be. So if there's like shoulder armor, did he mean it to be leather? Did he mean it to be metal? That kind of thing. Did he mean this like little part on, I'm going to show Death Dealer. Did he mean this little indentation or convex area? Did he mean that to be a gemstone? Did he mean it to be metal? That kind of thing. This is a factory sample, by the way. So that's usually what I'm looking for. And if I can't figure that out from the sculpt, or if, I usually will reach out for clarification, just so I'm matching the sculptor's vision or the designer's vision.
Right.
That's kind of the first go-to. And then just overall feel for the character. Do we have a bio for the character already? Do we have a concept? Is it going to be more of a chaos character, or somebody a little bit more edging towards the good side? That kind of thing.
How do you choose the color palettes? I
mean, sometimes there's going to be a color render already, and that makes my work super easy because all I got to do is color match and just do it. But most of the projects from Savage Crucible are not that, and so that allows for a lot more creativity from the painter, which is really nice and appreciated. I like a mix of both, to be honest. So yeah, I mean, there's sometimes I just go for like colors that I really like. I really gravitate towards like deep bronze and copper colors for armor, and Rob usually doesn't like that. So.
Did you paint this one?
I did not. Actually, hang on one second. I'll grab a figure off my shelf here. So actually, Alex painted that, and then I just did a repaint for my own collection. I just did all gold.
Oh, I like
because
that.
I wanted to match the card art for
Yeah.
Napson.
Yep.
So
Where's my card? Yep. Yep. Yeah, that's awesome.
and something like we talked about reissues, and I'm not saying we're going to do this because Napson is still available, but I would imagine something like this would be a good example of reissue material because it's a repaint from the original. You'd probably want to include different accessories, maybe a different head or something. So that would be the type of thing that could be a reissue.
Do you basically have yours in the same pose as mine? Great mind. Great mind.
Yeah. So,
nice.
But yeah, I don't know. I just sometimes I'll use cultural inspiration for if there's like a tattoo or body paint or something like that, just for my own customs and future figures, perhaps.
Yeah. So you went to you went to the Galapagos, awesome bucket list trip, definitely, if to be sure. So and it hit me like most people, go somewhere like that and they see the beautiful animals. An artist goes somewhere like that and you probably see textures, color palettes, weathering, lighting patterns. So I'm curious, working on Savage, has working on Savage Crucible changed the way that you see the world? Like when you went to was it different? Yeah.
Yeah. If I find a piece of cultural artwork, like piece of pottery or something, there's a cool design on it, I'll take a picture of it with Savage Crucible in mind, or a cool color combination. It doesn't even have to be on it. It could be on an animal, it could be on something else like fabric or something. I'll take pictures for future reference. These colors go really well together. I like that a lot.
And now you painted these, right?
Painted 2 of the 4. So I did the blue and the white one.
The blue and the white one. Okay. The 2 I didn't get. Oh man.
Yeah. And those were, both of those were real world reptile inspiration for those.
Right, like the albino python, or what was the blue one inspired by?
The blue was a blue tree monitor.
Nice.
So similar, closely related to the actual Komodo dragon, but a smaller relative of it.
Right. Yeah. We used to have a pet store. We had a big reptile section when I was a kid. Monitors and all that stuff. The colors are just the craziest in nature.
I can assure you that Nikki tries to claim ownership of painting all of the reptilian characters. She's very adamant about that.
Now, you guys, Nikki, are you more careful
You got the chops
with the colors that you pick out? Because I know if you guys remember back in the early 90s, G.I. Joe, they came out with Ninja Force, and the colors were just wild. It was so do you guys go back to that and say, we want to keep it a little more toned down, or
tone it down a little bit?
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, with my own customs, I did play around a little bit more and nostalgia nods for some things, but I think for Savage, we just have to consider the setting, that something's probably not going to be really pristine in the Crucible. They were brought through, and there's a lot of opposing forces and battles and hardship, so we just got to keep that in mind for that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, guys, let's kind of just switch gears a little bit and talk about the lore, actual Savage Crucible lore. Then we're gonna get to the chat, and I know there's a lot of great questions, a lot of great suggestions. Everybody's been just going nuts in the chat. It's awesome, so we're gonna get to that as well. But talking about the ideas for like I said, the mythology and everything, one of the most refreshing things about Savage Crucible is that it doesn't operate on traditional good versus evil. And you almost mentioned that earlier when we were talking about Dungeons and Dragons. I think instead it feels more like order versus chaos, which with most characters living in the gray, your water analogy. Why was it important for you to kind of build a world where morality isn't black and white, where there's a more of a gray, not as traditional fantasy storytelling would go?
From my perspective, everything is about perspective. whether you're right or wrong, good or bad. You know, it's about your motivations. You know, you can say someone's being selfish, but sometimes being selfish is the right thing to do. And I don't think that gets talked about a lot in those kind of contexts. So I just think that in the world that we live and the things that we have had to do as adult collectors, the world is not black or white.
Right.
It is very much a shades of gray. So, you know, killing somebody is wrong, but we can all justify reasons to kill something or kill somebody. So I think that's important. And I think that's what differentiates us on an individual basis, is where we cross those lines individually. So for me, that's just important. I don't, you know, someone can be the most horrible person on the planet and do an immense amount of good, and vice versa. So you can have the best intentions in the world and just do some really catastrophic things. So
we have a lot of real world examples of all of that, especially recently.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I just like that, because I think that creates more interesting characters for us to A, identify with, but B, also just be enamored with as well. Like I think that's always the great part about, you know, I did like the most recent Game of Thrones, the Night of the Seven Kingdoms, based off the Hedge Knight, from R.R. Martin. Like I loved that at the end, like he won, right? But like it was so brutal in getting there, and there was so much doubt, and I just loved that part of that. Like I really, you know, that was just a really awesome story, and I feel like that doesn't get told enough on an individual basis.
Right.
So
who's your closest character, or what character is the closest to a hero that you have?
Probably Como and Human, right?
They're definitely so far, I would say, the cleanest.
Como, yeah.
Jaeger is very much a hero, but he's very much an anti-hero, right? So that's definitely, we haven't released a whole lot. I mean, you know, I would actually say that Krieger might actually be the most heroic, because he's probably one of the more honest characters. Like he's not just trying to make a living and getting through things, not trying to exploit anybody, not be a muscle for hire. So that could be heroic. So I don't know. Yeah.
Who's the one that does? Who's the more like the one that does the things for their kind, like their people, like, and they
like the Magneto,
like a General Zod from Superman, like, you know, no matter how cool you think it is, they're like, this is what we do, and this is how we do it, and we're doing it because that's tradition. That's us.
Yeah, Nin was a great example of that character. I would say that the Shield of Desire is the same concept, but on a different. They find themselves on a different moral spectrum, but so I think that, I mean, honestly, going back to Zod, he is the same side of the coin as Superman. Right? Like they're the same coin. And so I don't really see the way that they approach it different. I just see their answer being different. But how they the level that they're willing to commit to what they believe is the same.
Yes.
I think that's what really differentiates
for what they believe in, right?
Yep.
Right. Yeah. So I was reading through the mythology, and I noticed that almost every major character is carrying some kind of burden, some exile, some guilt, some curse, lost identity, redemption. Even your villains rarely feel one-dimensional. Is that something that you're consciously pursuing, or do the kinds of like tragic characters naturally appeal to you as storytellers? I mean, obviously it's, you know, that Elric type character.
Yeah, I mean, I don't. One-dimensional people are boring. I mean, I don't know that any really exists in real life.
No, but they sure do in action figures and in mythology and poorly told stories. And you guys definitely don't fall into that.
Yeah, I mean, I go back to like Beowulf, right? Like
Mm,
he was not a one-dimensional character. He was definitely, he was heroic, but he was also selfish. Like there's
Very
there's
selfish.
a lot there to unpack. So I just personally don't feel like, from my perspective, that that's what the reality of people are. People are complex beings being pulled in multiple directions and trying to make complex calculations in their mind based on gut feelings. That is probably most people on an average day, whether they realize it or not.
yeah.
That
Yeah.
could be true. So who's had the roughest life so far? Out of all the characters.
Oh, the roughest,
Nassorn.
maybe. I don't. Well, you got to think that like I think Como's probably had the longest because like his childhood wasn't easy. Like he was an outcast. Like
Yeah.
Nassorn's life sucks, or did suck for a certain point. Como's life sucked the entire time. Because like look at it, like Who-Man, like he was on Earth, man. He got to listen to Guns N' Roses. His life wasn't that bad for at least half his life, right? Or so we think, anyway. I don't know. I mean, the Varnox, they were slave children, right? Like fighting and killing people. Like that's
Tied up to a post.
yeah.
Yeah.
Stuff.
Which faction do you think collectors misunderstand the most? Yeah, because people will misunderstand. Which ones do you guys think they misunderstand?
I do think Nikki's answer is correct. So I think sometimes they're seen as being very barbaric and very predatory.
Okay.
Which is not any different than the way that humans act. Like if you look at like the Chaparral or whatever, like when they're just eating a feast of humans, that's no different than 100 boats being on the water fishing. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
It's just meat.
Right.
I mean, fish feel pain, so
this is true.
That's true.
The fish, that koi. I meant the fish characters are so dope.
Yeah.
Now, one thing I appreciate is that the lore never feels like it exists just to, justify the action figure. Like it feels like the figures are kind of snapshots from the larger living world. And when you're like developing a new character, how do you decide like which parts of that character's life collectors need to know, which are going to stay mysteries, what's best left unanswered?
I think Nikki, I mean, she's worked on 2 bios with Gordon here recently. She can clue you in on where they thought they were going with that.
I think there's a few layers. Like we don't want to be one dimensional, but there is like information that you want to get across to the collector pretty quickly so that they just have a general sense of something that's going to be interesting to them, something that's going to fit what they already are familiar with. If you get really abstract, I think you're gonna lose people. And so it's a moving target for us. And then you also have the factor of, okay, we have 2 graphic novels, but we don't have an existing property. There's not like a TV show or a movie, right? And so bios are a really good opportunity for us to lore build and world build. So kind of fit all of that in, and try to balance it out, I think is the approach there.
Now the blind bag artifacts, they're very unique.
Mm-hmm.
They're more than just like accessories, and they have history as well.
Yeah.
And powers, and then they have their own consequences. At one point, what did you decide? Every magical item should feel like, and its story, and instead of making it just like a cool looking weapon,
Yeah.
that came packed with a figure. And what's your favorite? I mean, I know, what's your favorite one, and which ones did you paint?
That aspect was really important to me to have. I know it's important to other members of the team also, but for me, having unique weapons and having weapons that are like if you have a dwarven sword, I don't want to see a bunch of other races with that dwarven sword. I want it to be special and like culturally appropriate to that character. That's not to say you can't build a character who just, you know, massacred dwarves and picked up his weapon, right? It's a little different. Right. But one of the fascinating things for me in fantasy properties was this idea of a magical weapon or something that had a history, a deep history, a story, and kind of a character in and of itself. Now, you don't want all of those weapons to be a character, right? But there are such cool lore elements that you could bring into the blind bags, whether it's the gems, whether it's the necklaces, the amulets, or the artifact weapons, where you can power up your character. You can swap armor and power them up. You can level them up, right? And so I like that gamified element to the collecting experience with Savage Crucible. And I would like to point people to the checklist on the website, because there's just a lot of really cool information there with the different pieces that are there. I have actually not painted any of the blind bag accessories, but my favorite one is the blue axe. I forget its name, but in the latest blind bag assortment, that one's my favorite.
Oh, okay.
And I don't have it yet.
Oh, you don't have
You know that axe he's talking about, Rob?
Yeah, I was actually pulling it up because I don't remember the name either.
Is it Thalcrix, maybe?
Ooh,
That sounds. Let's see.
sounds dope. I like it.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I like it.
The blue one, yeah, it is Thalcrix. Yep.
Okay.
Still need that one.
Good call, Nikki.
All right. A Harbinger is presented as someone seeking absolute knowledge at any cost, rather than simply wanting to conquer the world. What makes the pursuit of forbidden knowledge such an interesting motivational factor for a villain in your eyes?
Well, why is it always a villain that it's not, right? Like, it's what they do with the knowledge and why they're seeking the knowledge that was kind of makes them a villain or a good guy in most cases. You look at Leif Erikson, a real life historical person who was seeking knowledge about the rest of the world, you know, the places beyond that they hadn't seen. And so we attribute him to being heroic because he went to these places, right? Kind of an interesting thought. So I guess it's more about what you do with it at the end. Or maybe does it make you a villain because you're willing to do anything to get there, to do what you want? Is another perspective, right? But what if the end was so great that it justified all the means and you're just a villain until you get there?
Does Harbinger think he's a hero?
That is... I would imagine that he doesn't spend a lot of time thinking about that at all.
Nice. Yeah. Now, what struck me was because, like, how often Savage Crucible rewards curiosity. The world doesn't immediately explain itself, right? You have to kind of piece it together through file cards and decoder. I love that, and like the comics, the conversations. Was that sort of mystery-driven approach intentional from the beginning? Well, obviously, but how do you balance giving collectors enough answers to stay interested, invested, without removing the mystery? You know, it keeps them coming back.
Now, people might disagree with me, but I'll tell you, one of the worst things they ever did was take the helmet off of Pedro in The Mandalorian.
Worst things ever.
Like,
this is the way. This is not the way.
Don't even get me started on Boba Fett, Jango Fett. All right, just
now we and Spider-Man I'm tired of Spider-Man peeling his mask off when he's saving somebody, or what. I'm just tired.
Yeah.
I'm just here to tell you that there's certain things like we love feeling like you go back to the Clone Wars, and it was just one sentence that spawns an entire series, right? Which was awesome, don't get me wrong, but like built that up in our minds on what that was like, and then that's the best part. And it wasn't really like that it was like hidden. It was just the Clone Wars, and like you had to make like, what does that mean, right? Like, what is that about? And so I like when people fill in the gaps, like, because it lets your mind work. And I think most people's answers about whatever the mystery is in any character is probably way better than anything I could actually come up with, beyond just the idea of it being fun.
Yeah.
And
The pre. Sorry, go ahead, Nikki.
I was just gonna say, from my perspective, with like letting people discover physical things about the packaging or the box or the characters, or does this piece of armor fit on this? I really don't like spoon feeding people information, and I think it's really unfortunate as we get further into this age of social media that people like just spend more time scrolling and wanting those immediate answers now without spending time with their collection and really enjoying those things that they've spent a bunch of money on. And so from my perspective, I want to encourage that, so we don't give all the answers right away. Like, go spend time with your collection, enjoy it, and have that opportunity to discover things.
And does that kind of dictate how you put out product, like not flooding too much stuff?
Yeah, we had a big discussion with the team pretty early on of like, don't get out there and start posting all the different part swap combinations that are possible. Like, let people discover it on their own and have that fun experience themselves. We don't put the checklist up right away because we don't want people, we want people to be able to discover something new and pull something that has not been seen before. And we'll eventually put the checklist out, just to help people understand what they might want to hunt or what they might want to trade for. But it's a timing thing, and not leading with too much information, I think.
Right.
Now, you guys like, do you like look for the, things that people put together, or like, and are you amazed? Like, have you seen something that you're amazed at? Like, you're like, damn, what they think of this?
For sure. Like, I'm constantly resharing photographers and customizers in like Instagram and Facebook story from the Savage Crucible account, because people are doing some kick-ass work, and I'm always sending pictures to the team of people's work, even if it's like a cool pose or just some cool parts combination. Like, there's really cool stuff, and that's what makes it super rewarding for us, is to see what other people are doing with the figures that we're putting out.
And I'll just say that Nikki, Matt, Tim, Still, Kevin, Nick, all those guys and girls, Rebecca, all of them were just amateurs at some point, just doing cool stuff. Like, that's how they started.
Yeah.
That's a good inspiration for a lot of people. Just hearing you say that, and then it being that way. Now, do you guys have like a secret? So you can go to like Chipotle and order the quesarito, which is on the secret menu.
You're making
you guys have a? I know, I'm trying not to. You guys have like a secret character that you made that nobody knows about, or if they ask for it, you'll just send it to their house. Sort of like Hawk, like a Hawkman or Stutar, King of the Hawk people.
Honestly, that is an interesting concept. I wonder how I could pull that off.
I want to see it. Oh man,
you think
you definitely gave me something to think about. Like, and I know Holly's watching. If she's still watching, she's pissed at you right now, Stu Dog. Holly's the CFO, so like she's going to find you, and she's going to bill you for how much ever this is going to cost the company.
Do you guys have a favorite bash that you like, the person that you did within the company? Like,
well, no, I'm thinking like, like if you go down to Disney World, they have like the whole like drinking thing, like all the drinks from the different parts of the world, and if you go, like they have like special coins, and there's like secret menus and stuff, so you can get special drinks that aren't like that are hidden and stuff like that. And I love that. And I know Ren's on here, and Ren loves geocaching, and he's been trying to get us to do high geocaches of stuff all over the country. And I'm
Right.
like, that'd be fun for like Ren and like 12 of our fans, you know, like, but then I wonder, like, would it really kind of take off if you started doing something like that? Would it like really sort of have fun? Because here's like the problem. Like, we do a lot of decoded messages, but the truth is like 2 guys will decode them.
It's online.
Yeah. And then there's like 30 people saying, hey, someone decode this for me.
Yeah.
And there's another 50 people saying, keep drinking Ovaltine.
Right. Yeah.
It's not a unique comment, guys.
And once they decode it, they post it, and now everybody knows it without having to decode it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we put a lot of thought. We've been thinking about ways to make it special so that the first couple of people that do decode something do get something very special. And I can guarantee you that they weren't not going to want to share it with anybody else. So,
So what kind of things have been discovered with the decoder?
So far, the only clues that we've been giving, well, you know, going back to Stew Dog, someone did win a gold decoder, one of the ultra rare gold decoders at the first PowerCon. That was Brian George's wife. She decoded the message and then figured out the clues.
That's right.
Yep.
But yeah, mostly I think it's been just like hints and like teasers for figures that we're leading up to a reveal for.
Okay. Because you know, Bungie does that. They used to do that a lot. You know, give us little messages, and they actually put out like this elaborate code thing that we decoded online, and people figured out the coordinates, and it was a real spot, and they went, and there was actually an artifact there that was made by Bungie.
Wow.
That people, you know, I think it was like 4 guys that found it. They literally drove to the spot. I think it was like in Maine or something like that, or somewhere. And they found it, and it was a long spear that we used in the game. Now, are you guys thinking about something like that with the decoder?
That'd be really cool.
Really cool.
Be expensive. Then I worry about someone grabbing like a sword and like hurting somebody else, or they get in a fight and someone dying over it, and you know,
you always make it out of wood. You know,
gotta be a disclaimer on it.
Yeah. Right.
Or a better idea, you could have the Stutar, King of the Hawk People figure hidden away. I think you guys decoded.
There's several. In all honesty, there's a lot there. I think a secret item, secret menu, something combining all those things, and maybe you have multiple different ways to obtain something, so it's not just one way of obtaining thing. Could be really cool and fun. So we are always looking for fun things to add to engage fans with. And so, yeah.
Nice.
And the coin. Now, will we ever be able to use the coins to buy anything?
Now, look, the coins.
Cool. I think they're really cool.
The coins are really.
I ordered a bunch of them. I think they're cool.
They are really cool. The decoder itself, you know, that we didn't come up with that coded system. That was some 13th century monks that came up with it. You can just Google it. You don't need a decoder to actually decode anything. Like, it's public knowledge on how to use that. So, the coins are just like, I think, like fun cosplay. Like, you know, I also was in the military, so we both have challenge coins, you know, that kind of stuff that just sticks with you. And so that's where the coins came from. I think things like that are just cool pieces to have in your house, and they're like really, you know, it's metal, it's solid made, looks cool. Someone picks it up like, what is this? And it just looks cool, you know. So I just love pieces like that. I've been trying to get a sword like Komo's sword made. Just haven't managed to get someone to do it yet. Pieces like that I think are really cool. I don't think they are applicable to the entire collecting audience or Savage Crucible audience, but I do like the idea of engaging fans in fun ways, and I think we all truly enjoy the hunt. And I think that's, you know, if we can contribute to that in a fun and worthwhile way, we'll certainly do it.
The Plunderlings guys did a really good job with a coin situation. They had a like treasure map hunt, and then if you figured out the puzzle on that that treasure map, you got access to a really rare figure that was like $200 on the aftermarket, and that was fun. They did a great job with it.
That's dope. That's dope. All right. So, guys, Before we hop over to the chat and go through everybody's stuff, and there's a lot to get to, but serious question time. We've covered mythology, literature, engineering, manufacturing, painting, GI Joe, WonderFest, business, and everything in between. So there's really only one question left. Chuck E. Cheese figure, flocked or unflocked?
Unflocked.
I'm a showbiz guy, not Chuck E. Cheese, man.
Rob, I like that.
I don't think I've ever seen that character flocked before in real life. So like, I don't understand
Why they did a flock version.
Right? Am I wrong on this? Like, I thought everything was made out of like molded plastic or like plaster. Like,
Well, wasn't the suit kind of furry a little bit? The guy walking around.
oh, when they have the guy walking around. Okay, yeah. Like I said, Showbiz. Showbiz had animatronic show. Like it was like right. And so you're right. Chuck E. Cheese just had the rat running around, which was kind of weird when you think about a rat running around a restaurant.
Running around a restaurant, it is a weird concept. I grew up with Chuck E. Cheese. We didn't have Showbiz down where I'm at, but
we had Bullwinkles, which was had these all the cool animatronic characters.
Yeah.
That was in an arcade. That was
fun. I mean, that's what Showbiz was. But yeah, interesting.
Classic. Just kind of a joke there, but so getting to the chat, man. I know everybody has lots of questions, but mainly when you asked us what IPs we'd like to see, we got a few. Oops, not that one. A few. Tristan said a cool figure would be Witch King of Angmar. Would be most welcome.
Okay.
And let's see, we had sliding down. My man said the Warded Man, Peter Brett Demon Cycle series. I'm not familiar. Sounds dope. What else? Oh, everyone, can you make Templar Knights in the future? So yeah, interesting.
Yeah.
Would you? I mean, because there is obviously already kind of a Templar with your kind of. I don't know. Do you consider him a competitor or what?
I mean, I think that our stuff is unique in itself, and
yeah,
I think the people that collect ours could appreciate Templar Knights and a lot of other knights in that perspective. So I don't agree. It's not really, if someone else has made something before, is not a super consideration. Cool. It's only a consideration if it affects space or size comparison. So for example, horses, I wasn't really willing to go and tool a whole new horse because there's two pretty good horses on the market already for the scale that we need. There didn't make a lot of sense to go out and tool a third. But because I didn't find anything lacking necessarily in either design. But if we find something lacking in another design, we'll definitely release the same type of character, no doubt.
Like a Death Dealer horse. Mighty Max, enough said. Portals literally comes from his hat. Mighty Max. Interesting. Battle Mage from the Palladium books. Riffs RPG. My man, shout out. Oh, hold on. Wait, Jehovah Toys with the $2 super chat said I want Savage Crucible to make 7 dungeons characters. The 7 dungeons. 7D dungeons characters. 7D dungeons. What is that? You guys know what that is?
Yeah, what is the dungeon?
7D dungeons.
You have to educate us, Jay.
Yeah, let us know. Austin said, I want more 80s inspired fantasy action figures like Willow, Beastmaster, Krull, but take it in a serious adult direction like you do with Savage Crucible. Yeah, I heard you were asked about Mad Mardigan doing something like that. What do you guys think about those IPs?
I'm pretty sure that's Disney for Willow.
Yeah, Willow is Disney.
Beast Krull.
Not impossible, just that would be kind of hard. Even more so with Val Kilmer, because of the situation. But Krull, I don't know who owns the rights to Krull. I do know who owns the rights to Beastmaster. That's not going to happen.
Why not Beastmaster?
Orion owns Krull. The people that did
Orion owns Krull.
RoboCop. People did RoboCop.
I figured it was a film company.
That's just the company that releases the film. It's way more complicated on who actually owns the rights.
Like the writer who made up the character or something.
So you gotta think like, there's multiple contracts. Like a film can get made, but the creator owns part of the rights to it, and then like the director could own part of the rights to it, or they could just make a movie and then go sell it to a movie house that releases it, and they bought all the rights to it. And so like there are different deals. It's like The Last Starfighter. The guy that wrote The Last Starfighter, he's maintained the rights to that the entire time. Doesn't matter who actually released the movie. So that's just kind of where it gets really complicated.
Sony Pictures owns Crawl. Sony Pictures Entertainment.
There you go, Rob.
There we go.
Okay. What else? Harvinger would knock Elder Scrolls Skyrim out of the park. I'd love to see that. That does actually kind of look like your aesthetic a little bit. Elder Scrolls Skyrim. Have you thought about it? Is this are we asking too much? Can you not review?
No, you guys are asking too much.
Okay.
You know, like I said, we have some more IPs to announce this year. So
Skyrim would be great. Skyrim would be great.
That would work. Yeah. Thundar the Barbarian.
I'm a huge Thundar Herculoid fan.
I am too. I'll jump right on board. I'll be the first one to order one after I order Stutar, the King of the Hawk people.
I think
Thundar would be cool because I don't think Thundar gets enough. Everybody likes Thundar, but have we really ever gotten anything from Thundar?
There's that San Diego Comic-Con set from like 14 years ago that is for Herculoids. It wasn't Thundar. My bad. That Herculoid set is crazy expensive. Dude. I think it's like $800 a piece or something crazy.
It is.
So I don't know. What was the other question? Sorry. Was it I didn't see the one you just put up. I've already erased them.
Space Ghost, Herculoids, Thundar.
Thundar was the last one.
Thundar,
Then I put up Highlander, Kurgan. Yeah.
I mean, with the reboot, it's kind of hard to touch Highlander right now. Someone might with bigger. This all goes back to like you have to know people in certain institutions that are really big to be able to get a meeting for them to talk to you, and then sometimes it's just them throwing you a bone because you're such a small guy,
right?
You gotta think these large multi-billion-dollar companies are looking for really big deals. They're not interested in like podunk, and we are definitely podunk, like from that comparison, guys.
Not at all.
The movie grosses $400 million. They're like that was horrible, and I'm like,
yeah, right.
What about Battle of the Planets? What about Battle of the Planets?
Hold on, man. We gotta get through the chat, man. I'm sorry. A lot of people in the chat. How about Dragon Slayer? I think you've been asked this one before.
Ooh, that's a good one. That's
a great movie.
That is.
It's would totally consider doing something from that if possible.
That would definitely, I'd definitely be into that. Toy Visual said, picked up my first Savage Crucible earlier today. Varnox Unchained. He looks badass. Right on, man.
Choice.
Very good choice. Varthi variant confirmed.
Did we
confirm variant? What? Did we confirm it? I don't know.
Is there a variant?
There is now, I guess.
I want to know. Elric is not the first figure that went up for sale multiple times on the site without being reissued. I don't know what you're talking about, man. Crucible Codex. 7-second sellout. Blessed to get one. Yeah, man. I actually did a live stream that night because like I knew it was coming. And you guys were like, it's coming at between 9 and 10. So we were live and I had to join up at like 9 o'clock and it was 8:59. And I started hitting that refresh. Seen him, got him, ordered him live. I was like, nice. I got him. And I came back on and it was like my boy was in the chat. He's like, it's sold out. And I'm like, 30 seconds. It was a fun night, man. That was awesome. It was a great time. Dragonlance. There you go. Dragonlance. All right. Hello, everyone. Just loving Elmore poster behind Rob. It's been a cool while. Dope. So Sav Crew, when are we getting female characters? Sauce Fist at the moment. Yeah, we answered that earlier in the stream. Watch the replay, Gibbs. Watch the replay. Toys are not investments.
Mhm.
Cool.
So
I
you said-
disagree. I've had
so
some
you
some
said-
very nice toy investments that have paid off well.
I was gonna say it depends on how you play it. Collector
Well,
corral.
they're definitely an investment in your happiness. So
in
Yes,
your
yes,
in
they
your
are.
sanity, in my calm. Yeah, right. My bad. Let me
That's
get that out of the
That's a
face.
highly opinionated statement. Let's move on. Let's move on.
I appreciate the way Savage Crucible does that. The way I know what to put my money on. Oh yeah, we were talking about earlier. I agree with Gibbs of Toys. Would love some female characters. Definitely gonna happen. It's coming, man. JS sir, good to see this evening, brother. Hang on, let me scroll down before I. Everyone should be able to get the toys they want in a perfect world. In a perfect world. Which figure is Nikki referring to? My bad, late to the show.
Came on when we were talking about Elric.
Yes. Right. They have adopted the Mezco
strategy.
Who is that?
Yeah,
what is
What
the
are we-
Mezco strategy? I wonder.
yeah, I don't even know. Yeah.
I'm not sure what he means there. Let us know. Can't always get what you want. I saw what happened behind the scenes, and there were no bots. Each Elric went to a valid home. I canceled. Like I said, man, I did it live. You can go watch the video. It was official. Catching the replay, Frank Doom, appreciate you, man. And shout out to 95 people in the chat right now, man. We appreciate the hell out of you guys, man. Hit that like button, man. We love it, man. And subscribe, and we'll see you guys every Wednesday and Saturday. We do this live, man. Ren is the all-seeing eye of the Savage Crucible. Rob, thank you for making Elric. He's an absolute legend. His character is a wonderful read. Absolutely, man. If you guys haven't read Elric, go read that novel, Elric of Melniboné. Then go read the graphic novels they just came out with. Like, did you read those? Did you see those, Rob?
Yeah, the Twin Titans. I have them all. So I haven't read the most recent one. This hardback of the.
Yeah,
this
that's
one.
yep.
That's
Got
most
that.
recent. But all
Yep.
the others I've read.
Yeah. Oh man,
There's
they're
like
incredible.
4 of them out so far.
A lot of people reached out to us saying that they bought the figure and then they went out and bought some books. So that was
Mhm.
really cool.
Yeah. Yes. That is so dope. That's what I really kind of love most about the Elric figures is that it brought people to the books and to the lore and to the knowledge. And now when you watch Game of Thrones, you will know where all that came from. Every bit of it. I said I've been in a bad mood since the A's ended. Oh man. You could also just tell 1 or 2 of your 100 other figures to pay aftermarket price. Call it a day. Getting the figure made me read the book. There it is. Now I just want all the different books. Dude, there's a lot of them. I'm not attached to Elric at all, but what a damn fine figure. See, I mean, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter one way or the other. It's a great figure. Any plans of working on any other media from you besides comics? I would love to see some animated episodes.
I did.
instead of-
We do have a pretty cool piece of animation that I pinned in the highlights of the Instagram page.
Mhm.
I think it's on our YouTube, but it's
Yeah.
easier to find on Instagram. Just go to the highlights and it says animation. Definitely check that out.
Yes, very cool, very cool, very cool. The books selling out was crazy. Did they sell out the books from this figure? The books are selling out.
Yeah, the graphic novel started selling out on Amazon.
That is dope. You did that. You did that. You affected the market of another medium. That's what happens when love and dedication is put into the art, baby. I can be sold on cool, but it has to be available first. That's late bloomers are bored, not satisfied. Hey man, gotta be Johnny on the spot. Sometimes I'm familiar with Elric, having read a couple other books in the series, but wasn't particularly attached to him, which is why I skipped him. Seeing the actual item makes me kind of reconsider a bit. Pack Rat, you my boy. You've been coming through recently a lot. You a trapper now. I need you to go get that Elric figure, dog. Rob learned a few tricks from. Oh no, what? I should have read that before I put it.
It's okay. He actually brought this up on another show. Do you want to
yes.
retell that story?
Okay. Yes, please.
The gist of the story is that
Careful.
Have fun. Go for it.
the tooling factory has an immense amount of clients from multiple industries, not just the toy industry. And so I think when people think about factory, they think of it like a conveyor belt of just things happening.
Yeah.
And they don't understand that like your tooling factory can be overloaded with work from an entirely different category besides toys. And case in point is like when I went the first time I ever visited a tooling factory, as a joke, they had this room that was completely empty, and they just had this small table in the middle of the room by itself, and they had one tooling plate there in the middle of the room. And I walk up to it, and I'm videotaping all of this, and it's just a giant dildo tooling plate. All right, so like, yes, where our action figures are being tooled is the same place where dildos are being tooled. Just
where other fine dildos are made.
Right,
Oh,
like
man.
but it was just a testament to like people don't truly understand the entire supply chain and understand where all these different pressure points are and how other things completely outside of your control, right? Like,
Wow, man, talk about affecting other mediums. It's unsettling every time he does it. Replacement feet for the lizards was just a good move. Yeah, yeah. So explain. Real quick, just a quick thing, like because I've never seen that personally on like other figure sites or other companies where they're just selling like feet and stuff like that. Is that something you thought of, or have you seen it somewhere? You inspired?
So the wave one, what was happening is there was a balance issue with the feet, and the real issue simply is that when inserting the ankle joint into the foot, the bottom of the foot would have a slight bulge on not every figure, but some figures, and that basically created a little bit of like a rocker chair effect. You think about it. And so we sent out replacement feet to all the backers and people that bought the figures, and then we realized that we weren't going to get everybody, so we put the remaining stock up for sale for like $1.
Oh, okay.
All people really had to do was just sand the bottom of their feet, but I couldn't go out there and tell people, hey, go fix your product that you bought. Like that wasn't the right answer. So we sent them out to people that had backed the Kickstarter, free of charge. We paid for the shipping. We had them produced. And it's just one of those things, like it was because everybody had an opinion on why the figures weren't standing up, but very few people actually understood or found the actual real reason why it wasn't.
It was like a seam, right?
No, literally, it was like if you stick
like a little bump,
tag, it just created like a bulge.
Yeah,
and it didn't do it on every foot either. So
right. So it wasn't okay. So it wasn't like a bad design. It was just a production thing.
I can't say that for certain. I can't say like we redesigned the feet to remove the issues. We made the bottom of the foot a little bit thicker. Could they use less force when inserting the joint into the foot? Would that created a better product from the get-go? Maybe. I don't know. Didn't really care at that point. I wasn't really trying to nuance it. I just like, let's just make new feet that we know will be fine and not try to because I don't think that if we had fixed, let's say you fix the assembly, like you reduce the force where it doesn't create that effect most times. That's not, in my opinion, a reliable system to fix something. Because the next person could really rank up the pressure and start doing it again. You didn't really fix the issue, right? So sometimes you're trying to, for lack of a better term, idiot proof something. And then that's what we did. That's why I went with the redesign on the feet.
Man, bravo, man. Thank you, man. Like, cause listen, how many figures do we get from whatever company, and this ain't good and this messed up? Whoever goes back, what company ever is like, you know what, let us fix that for you? Like that is Savage Crucible right there. I just want to give you those flowers right now. Devarthi Sentinel is one I got FOMO for.
Yeah,
oh man,
he will be available on the website later in the summer. So he had his con debut. Will be available later.
Oh yeah, you got it.
Sign up for email updates on the website so you don't miss our sales announcements.
Yes, and there is the URL. It's very complex. You got to know the code. No, it's just Savage Crucible. Japanese came to America is the way they stop thinking this way. So we get your questions. I said that. All right, I'm sure an app can be created to help you guys make the VIB ticket holders get the figures they want. Oh, like have an app made to do it. Yeah, there's an idea.
We
You
do
don't
have
know
a
how?
reservation system to make sure VIP ticket holders and any con attendees can get the figures they want.
Nice, nice.
At least the
What up,
drop
kid?
figures and the exclusives and things like that.
Nice, nice. Nikki, which figure would you most like to see in classified that hasn't been made yet? Great
Fast
question.
drop.
Ooh, there you go. There you go. I mean, nailed it. And honestly, you know what? Those figures, those characters, and fast draw, like what else? Like Psych Out, Lightfoot, like that whole wave, like Chuckles, Crystal Ball, like that whole like year, we're not popular because I think, and maybe you guys have an insight on this, as you know, because of the scale, I think those designs fit better in 6-inch because they look incredible in 6-inch. I love all of them in 6-inch. Maybe some of them just didn't look good at that scale. Yeah. Would Savage Crucible ever make samurais or ninjas? You could definitely fit a samurai into some fantasy.
I hope so.
Yes.
Nice. Nice. Good question, Master Grey Wookie. Thank you. Do they support knockoffs like Mies Toys or CT Toys? Support them?
I assume this person is asking if we support people knocking off people's IP.
Oh.
So
right.
the World
Like
of
third party.
Warcraft. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, which is very prevalent in places like China. They don't have the same feelings about IP laws that we do here in the United States. So
yeah. And is it a moral thing or like an artistical moral, you know, like don't steal that dude's shit, man?
In Western culture, we tend to perceive it that way, but in Eastern culture, they don't actually perceive it that way. They perceive it as more of like a flattery thing than an actual theft of something.
Right. Which there's I could see the logic there. I mean,
yeah, no, it's not. It's just a different perspective. It goes back to
exactly
not really a right or a wrong per se. It's just where are you coming from? Both sides are valid.
Yeah. Robert, the odds good that a CL Mike the Tiger drops in 2027.
Yes.
Nice.
You just got me in trouble with Holly, Steve. So thank you.
Ooh.
I'm actually texting her your cell phone number right now.
Ooh.
I heard today Steve might be coming out to Titans.
That'd be awesome. I miss Steve. Yep. So.
Yeah, guys, definitely get your tickets booked and get stuff booked right now because hotels are selling out. I know Legion's sold out. Like the main hotels, like I had to get one at the Sinesto, which is actually better because the room is like way doper and it's only a mile away. But yeah, we'll be there. So you gotta book your joints, man. Get your tickets. When will the Red Skull be out? We'll drop figure. This guy is crazy dope. Be right back.
I think that we'll announce. I mean, there's lots of drops between now and the end of the year. We have WonderFest. We have 4 at Titans, and then we have 2 at Unity, right? So announcements are coming.
Okay.
Nice. And guys, let me scroll down. Totally lost my place in the comments. Sorry about that, y'all. And I think some of them. All right, man. 610. Oh, yeah, I definitely skipped a bunch of people. My bad, y'all. Hold on. I had to refresh my thing. We're all talking. The building says sorry. Oops. Let me get you from behind there. Ask them, will there be any giant Cyclops or troll type figures? If not asked already. Great question. And that kind of leads me to a question. Rob, Nikki.
Definitely different sizes and creatures and all kinds of different things coming.
Nice. And the movie Odyssey is about to drop. Are you excited for that, Rob? Or not?
I'll let you know after I watch it.
True.
You know, like I'll go see it. I don't know if the only thing I'm excited for right now is Spider-Man.
Yeah.
So kind of felt a little let down over some of the movies this summer. Not like horribly let down, but kind of like, it was okay. You know, like, yeah. So
would you ever do any characters from the Odyssey or Beowulf or like some ancient mythology like that?
oh hell yes.
Yeah, so you got some more stuff coming. Nice. Was happy to get my Elric at JoeFest, wherever you can get it, man. Excited for a night with the mithril armor, hopefully sooner rather than later. Oh, that's why I refreshed, because I wanted to be able to show this and it wasn't showing up. The red skull you asked about, there he is. Thank you.
Yep.
And I had a question about this bed, motherfucker, right there. Are those metal rings or plastic rings?
Those are metal.
Yeah. So just like
Death Dealer.
Death Dealer, it's real chainmail.
Nice. Look at that. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Yes, very cool. And this little head was down there at the bottom. At the base down there, that's a head swap for him. Yeah.
I'm excited to put that head on the Drafarthi.
Ooh, nice.
That'll look pretty sweet.
Heck yeah. And then of course there's Goatman real quick. I think this dude's really cool looking. I love the jester bells on the horn. That is awesome.
I like that.
Yeah, it's cool.
I don't hate them, Rob. I really don't.
I believe you. That's cool. And then you got your more pan looking dude, nose ring. Incredible. Who's painting this stuff? Is this you, Nikki, or
That was Alex.
that's Alex? Okay. And then we got, of course, Great Danes. These are amazing.
Yeah.
Do you work on these because they're animals?
I do have one on my painting desk ready to do another colorway.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Super excited for this guy here. I mean, just really excited personally. I think.
Yeah, a lot of people, I mean, I think one thing that we learned with Elric and that contributed to his popularity was that he was the first fully armored character.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that seems to be something that people really want right now.
This old chap here. I like it. And the old knight, the old bearded knight motif. Trope, rather. Yes, I love it. Can't wait for this. Cannot wait.
Yeah, they look amazing. They're
gonna be
absolutely stunning.
incredible. All right, kind of sliding through, trying to get through Star Wars line with Veiny Stormtroopers and Girthy Vader. Nice. Replay Squad 610. What up, man? Smash that like button, y'all, and subscribe. Great seeing you at JoeFest, Rob. The Indiana drop was fire today.
Thank you.
610 in the building. Devarthy Sentinel is one that I definitely don't want to miss. Already waiting anxiously for the Death Dealer. You know it. Savage reservation system is the best thing ever. Will there be in stock on sale on Wave 3? An in-stock sale on Wave 3?
Yes.
Yes.
Awesome. Doing great. Thank you. Book 3 about to drop in October, so I'm getting excited. Yes. Hints or when updates may come on all the Titans figures.
I think we're gonna roll those out over the next 90 days individually. So
Beautiful.
Yeah. So we got 3 drop figures for Titans and 1 true exclusive. And you can reserve the exclusive now by going to titanstoyexpo.com, and you can get it. You can secure it with the VIP ticket, and those are limited.
Oh, wow.
Nice. Yeah, man, get your tickets. I'm telling y'all. And what else? Guys, don't keep commenting. We got to get through. Will those nights be in our hands before 2027? Oh, good question.
You never know.
Do you know? And you're just not
I do
telling
know,
me?
actually. I do know.
All right.
The patient ones are rewarded
That's
with
right.
the most gifts.
That's right. Estray in the house. What up, Estray? Eastern companies definitely go after knockoffs. Ask Bandai. Where we at? Stu Dog talking about you can't be posting questions in chat, bro.
I mean, that's a legitimate question right there. That's legitimate. And people want to know.
I don't think so. Thanks, dude. Sorry. Thanks, my dude. I'm very thankful for people like you as friends and readers. Big love. Talking to Cole Gaggett.
Okay.
Cool night. Definitely want to get a couple of them. You got to get them. You got to get them. They're crazy. The Danes are insane. The Danes with the armor is beautiful. Those would be the best knights in the game. And that's saying a lot.
That is.
And I'm not mad at you, Cloud 5. I'm not mad at all. Please keep giving the reservation system 5 stars. It keeps me employed. Savage, man. Can't wait for Titans. Leslie and me are taking our sons. It's
Awesome.
a family affair. Very awesome, man. Guys.
Awesome. Hey, Slade, the first 250 kids get a free action figure.
That is sick. That is nice. That is dope. That is dope. Well, Rob, Nikki, I'm gonna let you guys go. We've been milking you guys for all we could for a couple hours now, and it's been amazing. And thank you guys so much for spending the evenings with us at the trap, man.
Yes,
Thanks for having us on. Good,
And,
really good questions.
Yeah.
Anytime, man.
We
Really
want you to know
appreciate
you guys. We want you to know you guys have the best fantasy line in America right now, in the world actually, because we've never gotten nothing like this. I mean, I gotta say it. I know
I agree.
you probably heard it. I don't know if you heard it, but you know the stuff that we got from the '80s when we were kids on up, it never had this much articulation. Never had this much, just being able to switch and bash, and we just never had. Like you guys have given us something that we've always wanted, but never got, and we supported other IPs for years. So I'm proud to be a supporter. I know Reno is, and I know everybody in the chat is too. But I just want to say thank you for giving us something that we actually can care about and carry on and pass down to our children.
Where's Bond? Where's Bond?
Thank
I know. And then I know how busy you guys are, especially with everything Harvinger has going on right now. So we really appreciate you guys taking the time. I know, Rob, we've been talking since before JoeFest about doing this. And you wanted to wait, so that's awesome, man. And I love it. I love it, man. It's been great. Thank you guys again for trusting the Toy Trap with those exclusive images, and that means a great deal to us. And I know the collectors watching at home really love getting a kind of sneak peek, early look. So yeah, man. And to everybody watching, everybody in chat, again, thank you guys for spending part of your evening with us. I know you could be a lot of other places right now. I know there's a lot of other shows going on right now, and you guys are still rocking with us, man. And whether you joined us live or you're catching the replay later, we really appreciate every single one of you guys. You make this possible. You're why we do it. And if you enjoyed tonight's conversation, do us a favor, hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't already, share the episode with another collector who needs to discover Savage Crucible, because everyone needs to know about this. Be sure to follow Harvinger Studios. Go check them out on social media and savagecrucible.com. Keep your eye on everything coming out. We'll be back again with our next live stream with more. But before we go, Rob, Nikki, anything else you want to tell everybody before we close it off?
See you guys at Toy Unity for sure, and see more of you hopefully at Titans.
If you see me at San Diego Comic-Con, say hello. If you see me at Gen Con, say hello. If you see me at Shanghai WonderFest, definitely say hello.
Yeah.
And I'm looking forward to seeing a lot of you guys at Titans and or Toy Unity. So we're doing everything we can to make those shows a really fun, enjoyable experience for fans. So if you have the opportunity, please come. If you can't, it's okay. The fun will still keep going, I promise.
Definitely, man. Definitely. And the fun's still gonna keep going at the trap. Remember, we do this live every Wednesday, every Saturday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, pretty much every night anyway, whenever there's some great toy news to talk about. But we'll be back with every great toy talk conversation that there is, and feed that plastic crack addiction that we all have and love. And until next time, man, collecting ain't a hobby no more, it's a habit. Welcome to the Toy Trap, and don't forget what we always tell you before we go.
Be water, my friend.
Collecting ain't a hobby no more, it's a habit. Welcome to the Toy Trap.